Yeah. It's been 9 years. 9 years ago, I was going to put the Appalachian Heartwood blog on YouTube. All those videos are 9 years old. Or 7 years. I don't know, but it's been a really long time. And what prevented me from it was my son got sick. He has ankylosing spondylitis. It's a terrible disease. It's an awful disease. It's an arthritis that not only attacks your joints, it attacks your organs. And we have spent a lot of time keeping him alive and getting him mobile again. In the last month, I'd say we've been to the ER, hospital, doctors, at least 8 times in a month and a week, 5 weeks, last 5 weeks. I'm sitting here in the hospital parking lot right now while he's having an infusion. It takes 4 hours. We spend a lot of times at the doctor's. And I was sharing some stories. I let Jay's Haunted Appalachia use a couple of my ghost stories, and he put them on TikTok. And others have asked me for stories, and I've given them to them. Dave Tabler's AppalachianHistory.net. He asked me for a ghost story about 5 or 6 years ago, and I gave him one. But I haven't really been doing anything with this. And I am somebody that has tons of information. Now, I'm not an expert on Appalachia. There is no such critter. I can tell you about my world in Appalachia. I can tell you about the things that I've researched in Appalachia. I can tell you about questions I have about Appalachia. Appalachia is a long, skinny thing from the Maine all the way down to, Alabama? Arkansas? I can't remember. I'll have to get a map and put it up there. But what I figured out, I was looking at this, and after Jay did the TikToks, I'm sitting there going, why am I not doing this? I'm so busy. I am busy. This takes a lot of time. And I think that it's time, before I run out of time, to get it done. If I don't, you'll not know the information that I know, which is a lot. And I used to be known as the corn chuck lady. I used to go around to museums, and I would make corn chuck crafts. Mostly dolls, because they were the simple ones, but you can do hats and mats and things like that, and bags. But I was going to make videos because my hand, this one especially, curls up with like carpal tunnel arthritis, and it hurts. And every time they want you to demonstrate, it's usually outside and cold. Worst time in the world to have to do corn chucks. It's outside and cold because it's got to be wet. It makes my hands hurt for a week. They swell up for a week, so I can't do that. So I was going to make a video and share the video. Then there's other things. Last fall, when the walnuts were falling, the black walnuts, I was sitting there going, ooh, I should do a tutorial on black walnuts. What we do. Now, not everybody treats the walnuts the same way. I don't know. Don't care. But what I know. I started to gather those walnuts up and make a video, and I didn't get a chance to. So, I think I'm just going to have to do it in between, wherever I can. I'm in the hospital right now, hospital parking lot. We'll just start making videos as we can. I went down the road and took a picture of the Molly Tynes marker. I've got that story. Jenny Wiley, I got that story. Oh, just a bunch of things. So we're going to start. And they may be short. I don't have a computer that's worth a darn. It's 5 years old. I probably won't. I'm watching a wasp. I hope he doesn't come in here. Go away. Anyway, I got the window down, so he better not come in. Man, wasps, they hurt. God, when they sting, they hurt. But at any rate, where was I? Oh, yeah. Anyway, I've got a pile of stuff to teach, to show, and just do it as I can. I mean, I just went up the road because I knew we were down here, and I said, okay, I'll just take a video. And I did. Now I'll go home. But I don't have anything to really edit it on. I'll do my best. But like I said, my computer's like 5 years old and it's making a really weird noise. It might last another 6 months. I'm sitting there going, oh, that's the fan. Once the fan starts going, it's just gone. And why is it I'm much grayer now than I was in that last video? And why don't anybody tell you that when you get gray hair, it just gets wiry as crap? It just goes, sticks all over the place. But I know our country's going through a lot of stuff, and it's sad. Some of this stuff you might be able to use. I want to talk about what I know about barter, how they used to barter. And the walnuts and the black walnuts and canning and things like that. Things we use to just make a living. But I know it looks like bad times. It does. But my mother, bless her heart, my ex-husband and I, we went through some stuff. He was a miner. He was then a railroad worker. He went to work on the railroad, just like his dad. His dad was killed on the railroad. His grandfather actually retired on the railroad, and the other grandfather was on the maintenance away and lost his leg on the railroad. Only one retired. But he got hurt on the railroad, and when he got hurt on the railroad, where he'd been in the mines, he was already working 36-inch coal. And if you know what 36-inch coal is, get a yardstick. He was climbing in 36-inch coal with a shovel on his hands and knees and shoveling coal away from the conveyor belts. And sprained his back in the mines. So when he went to the railroad, he worked for over 10 years. Well, it's feast and famine. I'll talk about that in a minute. He worked for over 10 years. The railroad said that his injury, he got caught in slack action. I don't know if you know what that is. When you have a freight car versus a passenger cars have these little buffers between the cars. And in a freight car, most of the time you didn't. And you had a caboose at the end. So when the thing would go into emergency or stop, it would go boom, 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 boom. Each one of those cars. By the time it hit the caboose, you could be thrown all over the place. And he got thrown on his back and injured his back. And, well, when it come time, the railroad went through his records and stuff and said, oh, that back injury's from the mines. It's not from the railroad, it's from the mines. So we had this big battle. And it was a time of Reagan, and he was killing unions. Unions were scared to do anything to help him. Oh, it was just crazy. But at any rate, had this big battle of whether it was the mines or the railroad that hurt his back. It was just like, are you kidding me? And then the railroad disability program, you had to work 10 years. 10 years. He had worked 10 years, but he hadn't been on duty 10 years. Because anybody that knows railroad and mines, it's feast or famine. You'd be laid off, and when he was laid off, the time didn't accrue. So he'd been there like 12 years? I don't know. He was just shy of like 10 months of having 10 years to get the disability off the railroad. That was really sucky. And then, so he went through Social Security, and Social Security fought him for 4 years. We lost everything we had. We lost our home, the mortgage. You can buy a job in the late 80s. It was terrible, horrible stuff. And I remember sitting with my mom, and I was crying because we were losing everything. And everything looked dark and bleak and blah, blah, blah. And she just sat me down and she goes, baby girl, she goes, I know it looks bad, but the blood that goes through you has survived every war, every plague, every economic downturn, every calamity this old world has ever known. And here you sit. And that's the real miracle, is that you even sit here at all. That you should value this. Even though it looks bad, you're still alive. And so that always made sense to me. And it makes sense to me now. Regardless of what's going on in this old world, as long as we're alive, there's a chance. So maybe some of the stuff that I share will help. I hope. Maybe you'll laugh at some of the history that I laughed at. Oh, I got some stories that are just, it's hilarious. You're sitting there going, really? That's actual history? And it's not taught in the history book. So we're going to have fun with this one. But as usual, I like your comments. Feel free to comment, but please be respectful. I'll delete it so fast it'll make your head spin and block you so fast if you're going to be nasty about it. I like debate though, but don't be nasty about it. And I'm going to put the Appalachian Heartwood blog on YouTube. Basically because people don't like to read anymore. We got the time span, or mind span of a gnat. But at any rate, I'm going to try to put all those stories on there, and I've got 7 boxes of research that I've done over the years. Once I had a boss tell me, I'm just going to pick your brain for everything you know. And I said, I don't have 25 years to teach you. So, we'll do it though. I'll share because I think I'm running out of time. My Ed, he passed away 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in September. We were going to do this. So time's running short, and I'm going to gather every time that I can and just do it. Heck with it. Just do it. Won't be professional, but the information will be out there. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this to get the information out, to teach, to show you what I found, because it's fascinating. Our history in Appalachia is fascinating. And it's just my little world. Don't think it's the whole thing. It's like whistling in the woods. People keep talking about whistling in the woods. You know, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of if you hear whistling in the woods. If somebody's whistling in the woods, it means somebody's in the woods. That just sounds like somebody wanting to scare the tourists. Probably the same people that have those bumper stickers says, if it's tourist season, why can't we hunt them? Whatever. But at any rate, if you like this, like, subscribe. I'll get back on here and do it again.